Beyond the Gates spoilers. For Thursday, July 31st, reveal Dani Dupree and Nicole Richardson will scheme, while Vernon Dupree has a heart-to-heart with Tyrell Richardson. From the looks of it, the July 31st episode will center on the Articulates reunion, as the big performance is slated to take place on Friday, August 1st, into Monday, August 4th. During Thursday's show, Anita Dupree will butt heads with either Tracy Tyler or Sharon Winger. As added teasers suggest, she'll have a massive difference of opinion with one of the two backup singers. On the Wednesday, July 30th episode, fans saw talent agent Jim Price return, and he suggested that Anita do a solo during the concert, something she flat out refused. With that said, Vernon encouraged Anita to run the idea past Tracy and Sharon, as they should have equal say in this. Anita did just this, and it looks like BTG fans will get Tracy and Sharon's reaction during Thursday's show. Sharon's the one who's had the most conflict with Anita all along, so will she accuse the Dupree matriarch of encouraging a solo act so she can have the spotlight? Anita said no to Jim, and she was very hesitant about doing this, as her solo career is what shattered the Articulates in the first place. BTG viewers know the concert will go as planned, thanks to this week's preview video. However, it looks like the woman will have to hurdle over one final blow-up before they do. Meanwhile, Nicole and Dani will scheme for the greater good. Will they see Anita, Tracy, and Sharon butting heads and intervene with a plan to bring these women back together? Then again, as the whole family has been encouraged to attend Anita's big night, Nicole and Dani's scheming could have to do with convincing Martin Richardson and Bradley Smitty Smith to come, as both men had their respective reservations about being in attendance. Speaking of, Tyrell and Vernon will have a chat during the July 31st episode. Tyrell has been #Team Smitty in his father's breakup, and is also apprehensive about attending his grandmother's reunion concert. Vernon is close with his great-grandkids and has a very special bond with Tyrell, so through their discussion, he may attempt to offer Tyrell Martin's point of view in this conflict. Beyond the Gates spoilers remind fans that Vernon is still struggling with guilt thanks to his role in Martin's secret and cover-up, so the great-granddad will work overtime to help smooth things over to make sure Tyrell and Martin's relationship is shattered by this. As the Articulates reunion inches ever closer, Anita is stressed out to the max. With everything their family is currently facing, the last thing she wants is to fall on her face and publicly embarrass the Dupree name any further. It doesn't help her nerves that her agent, Jim Price, wants to meet before the concert. Naturally, her worried mind goes to all of the worst scenarios. Fortunately for Anita, it's good, or at least neutral, news. Jim wants her to make the reunion concert even more unforgettable by performing one of her solo hits. But no, Anita says the spotlight belongs to all three of the ladies, not just her. Chelsea arrives at Dupree Manor to meet with Anita, only to find Sharon and Tracy rehearsing without her. As a lifelong fan of the Articulates, Chelsea is thrilled to be meeting her grandmother's fellow bandmates. That is, until she sees the costumes they're wearing for their big reunion concert. These are, classic in every sense of the word, Chelsea says, with words like elegant and retro, making Sharon and Tracy feel like turning into dust and blowing away in the wind. If they want to court a younger audience, Chelsea says they'll need something spicy to grab their attention, for which they turn to her for last-minute assistance. Sharon and Tracy are worried that they didn't consult Anita before making costume changes, but Chelsea is sure that she'll love it. Chelsea then sits Sharon and Tracy down for an interview about how they've stayed so close over the years. They admit that, like all families, they drift in and out of each other's lives, but their bond remains strong. Anita arrives home, and just as Chelsea expected, her grandmother loves the changes she made to their concert outfits. She also thanks Sharon and Tracy for giving her a chance to make things right. If only Barbara could be there too. I guess if we truly want to move on, we have to let go of that old baggage, Sharon says. We all played a part in how everything turned out, Tracy adds. It wasn't your fault, Anita. That was just the story we told ourselves. Anita concludes that there's enough blame to go around. Just then, awkward. Anita tells Sharon and Tracy that Jim wants her to do a solo jazz number at the concert. Even though Anita said no, she asks the other ladies to vote on it. Naomi swings by Dani's place to offer a second opinion on her concert outfit, but a far more important topic soon monopolizes their conversation. Not only does Naomi feel guilty for keeping major details about Martin's situation from Jacob, but she's troubled by the thought of Bill being connected to a murder, a notion that catches Dani by surprise. "I don't know how to feel about any of this," Dani says, once she's digested all of Naomi's information. Naomi explains why everyone kept Dani in the dark, which she understands, but she feels terrible that all of this is affecting Naomi and Jacob's relationship. "You are not allowed to have marriage problems," Dani tells her daughter, calling her and Jacob the last couple standing. Sad but accurate. Nicole and Martin begin their first official therapy session, with Nicole helping him understand that his feeling of powerlessness is a direct result of other people deciding how the situation was going to be handled. "When humans love, we can end up doing the most damaging things without meaning to," she explains. Martin understands all of that, but right now, the only thing he wants is to be back home with Smitty, so how can she help him accomplish that goal? She suggests baby steps, telling Martin not to force anything too quickly. She also says Martin could try some breathing exercises to cure his insomnia. Unfortunately, their session is interrupted by Dani, who shows up with clothes for the concert, a concert Nicole completely forgot about. Fortunately, Dani picked out the perfect outfits for both her and Martin, despite neither of them feeling up for going out. "Mother's feelings aren't on my top 10 list of things to worry about," Nicole says, but Dani guilts her into attending. Martin remains unconvinced by the end of the hour, but a night to breathe and relax does sound pretty good. Dani's quite a saleswoman. Looking to drum up more publicity, Kat enlists Samantha for some day-in-the-life content on social media to promote their newest bag. But Samantha is having trouble focusing, what with her dad's potentially on the brink of divorce and all. When Kat asks why she's just hearing about Martin and Smitty's marital issues now, Samantha says Kat's been preoccupied by her work and her relationship with Tomas. Naomi also drops by the studio, where she offers Samantha another shoulder to cry on. "Maybe the Duprees should stop falling in love," Samantha suggests, but Naomi won't hear it. Kat asks Naomi to share her secrets, since she and Jacob clearly have things figured out. Marriage woes are also being discussed back at Martin and Smitty's, with Tyrell trying to convince Smitty to attend the Articulettes concert, instead of just dropping him off and heading back home. He even guilts Smitty by saying that Anita will notice he's not there. Tyrell also says Smitty taught them to face difficulties, not hide from them. "Maybe I've been looking up to the wrong person," he says. Ouch! The mood shifts when Smitty gets a surprise visit from Vernon. He knows they're long overdue for a conversation, and he knows that Smitty is angry with him, but he's hoping Martin's husband can put his animosity aside for one night, for Anita's sake. Beyond the gates, spoilers suggest Naomi Hawthorne is locked in an interesting storyline involving a homeless woman named June. She's been trying to help June get back on her feet. However, the lady has a mysterious past. With that said, she also carries around a photo of 2 children, kids that fans learned recently were her children she abandoned years ago. Could these 2 kids be Tyrell Richardson and Samantha Richardson? During the Monday, July 28th episode, BTG fans met Regina, June's sister. For a while there, Regina refused to talk to Naomi about June because she was so upset with her. On Monday's show, viewers found out it was because June had abandoned her 2 kids, a boy and a girl, relatively close in age, named Ron and Cecile. CPS took the children, and by the time Regina found out, a closed adoption was processed, and she had no clue where her niece and nephew were. Regina genuinely cared about the children and would have taken guardianship of them, more out of love than family obligation. During the July 28th episode, Regina mentioned that Ron would be old enough to be picking colleges, which places him around the same age as Tyrell. The teen is only a year older than Samantha, so there's a good chance Tyrell and Samantha are June's children. Not much is known about Tyrell and Samantha's adoption, other than mentions here and there from both Martin Richardson and Bradley "Smitty" Smith. Considering the land of soaps tends to link everyone on Canvas in one way or another, It's not far-fetched to predict that Samantha and Tyrell could be Junes. Add in the drama their family is facing, and Naomi's link to the kids as their auntie, and there's a good chance this will get exposed. How upset will Martin be at Naomi when he realizes she's found his children's biological mom, especially considering the circumstances June is still in? Could the kids navigate toward their bio mom and aunt and away from the Duprees? Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates on Thursday, July 31st, 2025. A pre-show showdown is on the cards for Anita and the other two ladies who make up the group, the Articulates. The past is a massive obstacle to the present and the future for these three. And despite Vernon's efforts to be diplomatic and restore peace, all is not well. In Thursday's episode, Anita locks horns with Sharon and Tracy before their big day. From choreography to costumes, hair to makeup, these three cannot get on the same page. Sharon feels it's all Anita's show, but she has her own agenda. The show must go on, and the Articulates will retake the stage, but will friendships survive? Nicole and Dani put their heads together and their differences aside as they plot. Someone needs to keep Leslie from ruining the night or making it all about her. Is this the task that the two sisters have in front of them? In Thursday's episode, the Dupree sisters scheme for the greater good. Let's hope they have a solid plan. They are going to need it. To keep the night together, they are going to need to keep their wits about them and stick together. Tyrell and Samantha feel like there is still so much they don't know, and what is being kept from them makes them feel less important and valued. Even after Nicole talked to them at the Fairmont Crest Country Club, the truth hasn't been revealed for obvious reasons, but not apparent to them. In Thursday's episode, Vernon and Tyrell have a heart-to-heart. Vernon always knows just what to say and when to make someone feel instantly better about the situation they are facing. This is just what Tyrell needs to help him navigate this tough time where both of his male role models are at odds with each other, and no one is thinking like a teenage boy. Strap in, we are almost there, and the Articulates concert and another epic Friday is almost upon us. Don't miss a second! In the Wednesday, July 30th episode of Beyond the Gates, the Articulates' comeback concert is imminent, and panic has set in, at least for Anita. Sharon and Tracy don't seem to have that problem. Instead, Chelsea shows them some social media love and manages to perform triage on their reunion wardrobe. Meanwhile, Smitty and Martin don't feel like their presence is needed at Grant's concert. They are mistaken. At the country club, Anita is feeling more than nervous. She says it's more like panic. But we know better. She may not have done this in a while, but she is Anita Dupree. She will more than deliver. The Articulates' comeback concert is in a few hours, and a super supportive Vernon lets his wife know how ready she is. Of course, when the agent arrives, he doesn't hesitate to make a request. It's a request that could upend any goodwill that Anita, Sharon, and Tracy have built up. He feels Anita should do a solo at the concert. Anita, of course, balks. She knows that this evening is about the girl group and not about her solo act. At Anita and Vernon's, Sharon and Tracy are in a great mood. They're excited for the concert. When they connect with Chelsea, she goes live on social media and taps into the nostalgia. Yet simultaneously, she attempts to make them relevant to her Gen Z audience. The one hitch is the wardrobe. Chelsea thinks it could be less dated and blend the classic with a more modern vibe, so they make an executive decision to alter the clothes. When Anita gets home, she hears her fellow Articulates talk about Anita positively, not in negative tones like they have in the recent past. They all have smiles on their faces, and they're able to get on the same page, vibe together, and even group hug it out. However, this could have all unraveled when Anita broached a sensitive topic. She brought up the agent wanting her to do a solo, and she left it up to an Articulates vote. She told them she already said no, but she wanted to leave it up to them. Will the good vibes continue, and will Sharon and Tracy approve of Anita taking the spotlight for a song? Tyrell, Vernon, and Dani acted as Dupree ambassadors as they attempted to make a miracle happen. Get Martin and Smitty in the same room. The separated husband looked miserable without the other. However, they weren't willing to show up at the concert. They didn't feel up to it, and they didn't want to make things awkward for the family. Vernon visited Smitty and urged his son-in-law to attend Anita's big night. She wanted him there, and the whole family wanted him there because he was family. For Smitty, it seemed too soon to be doing something like this, but he will undoubtedly show up. The same goes for Martin. Faced with Dani's light and her ability to use guilt as a weapon, she handpicked an outfit for her nephew, and he'll, of course, be there. Will the two be able to set aside all the drama and cheer on Anita? Fans think Beyond the Gates needs to stop trying to make Andre and Ashley happen. The hit CBS soap has been headed in this direction from the jump, with Andre crushing on Ashley since he met her. It's nothing against the talented actors, but there is no chemistry between Ashley and Andre. Their recent date, on the 100th episode of BTG no less, was a sweet gesture on Andre's part, but it also highlighted the issues with these two as a couple. BTG fans have also been sounding off on the lack of chemistry between Andre and Ashley. No amount of screen time for this chemistry-less pairing will ever make me root for Andre and Ashley's bland ADs. I will always fast-forward their material, wrote a fan on X. Another fan on X brought up the lack of chemistry and how Andre always has to gas up Ashley because of her insecurities. The simple fact is that Andre and Ashley just aren't working. They don't seem to have the daytime flair that makes a couple work in the soap world. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I don't get why we're still getting Ashley and Andre. Do they have fans? They clearly don't have chemistry. Their scenes come off cringy and awkward at best. This doesn't even feel like a triangle with Dani. Just bad, shared a viewer on X. Speaking of Dani, she and Andre were on fire. They had sparks flying all over the place. BTG seems to have made Dani just a pit stop on Andre's way to Ashleyland, and that is a mistake. Perhaps the show will right this wrong soon. In the meantime, let us know your thoughts on the Andre and Ashley pairing in the comments section below. The Beyond the Gates What to Watch moments for Wednesday, July 31st, 2025, tease tender moments and big drama. The Dupree sisters are having a meeting of the minds. Anita is ruffling feathers with Sharon and Tracy again, and Vernon and Tyrell will have a heart-to-heart conversation. Vernon and Tyrell will have a deep conversation. This talk is something that both of them need. The father and son will share some emotional revelations that will bring them closer together. This conversation could be tied to the recent challenges or family expectations that have been placed on them. We're interested in seeing what they're going to say. Meanwhile, Anita will continue to lock horns with Sharon and Tracy ahead of their big family event. Unsurprisingly, there's drama in the Dupree's household, which could be related to the Articulettes reunion show. This trio can't seem to get along. Will they ever put their differences aside and move on from the past? Meanwhile, the Dupree sisters are scheming, but it's not what you think. They're plotting for the greater good. What's interesting is that we don't know which sisters could be scheming. A surprising new alliance will come out of this conversation. We're excited to see what Nicole and Dani have planned. What are your thoughts on Dani and Nicole's relationship? Daytime's newest drama, Beyond the Gates, officially hit a major milestone in its broadcast journey on Tuesday, July 29th, when the CBS Sudser aired its 100th episode. In honor of the momentous occasion, creator Michelle Valjean and executive producer Sheila Ducksworth gave Deadline a sneak peek at what's ahead for the residents of Fairmont Crest, including some sizzling casting news. A new promo for BTG revealed that young and restless star Brighton James will be crossing over from Genoa City to Fairmont Crest next week. And as it turns out, Valjean and Ducksworth shared, there is more exciting casting news coming down the pike for the show. We have a cast addition that I think the soap opera world will be very, very happy about. And it's a male, teased Valjean, further adding, he's a hot male. Valjean and Ducksworth weren't yet ready to divulge the handsome guy's identity, but the EP promised that longtime soap fans all know and love him. A pair of reality stars are also headed to Fairmont Crest for a guest appearance. Giselle Bryant and Wendy Osefo from Bravo's The Real Housewives of the Potomac are slated to appear on the soap this fall. They both recently joined us for a day on set, and they have some super fun scenes that we can't wait to share, raved Ducksworth. The execs also addressed why the soap aired encores of its first 5 episodes during the week of the July 4th holiday. Val Jean revealed that the decision came from above her, and while she hopes it won't be a frequent occurrence, she appreciated the benefit that the rebroadcasts offered to new viewers. "I saw the value of that first week, because if you didn't watch it from the beginning, then you could get introduced to the world." Ducksworth noted that watching BTG's debut episodes all over again also allowed eagle-eye viewers to search for the breadcrumbs that were dropped way back in February. And for those superfans who know soap equals subtext, it gave our most stalwart fans an opportunity to rewatch and look for clues foreshadowing all the upcoming juicy story, she stated. Speaking of juicy storylines, Val Jean and Ducksworth addressed why it was important to them to tell one of the show's most provocative storylines to date. Martin was violently attacked by racists on a deserted country road, killed one man, and severely beat the other, and the whole thing was covered up to protect his political career. "The Martin storyline is just real," mused Ducksworth. "And that's what we're looking to give our viewers. Realness on every level." Val Jean further explained that her hope for the storyline was to showcase something never before seen on daytime. "I'm telling a story from the Black experience. A lot of it is based around a Black family who is privileged and wealthy, but at the end of the day, they can still be accosted on the side of the road by racists." Acknowledging that she meant for the controversial storyline to be very shocking, Val Jean gave props to Brandon Claiborne and the other actors involved, as well as the show's production department for the amazing job done so far. And the fallout from Martin's secret finally coming to light is far from over, as it has long-lasting effects on numerous characters. Martin still has a lot of healing to do because he's sublimated so much of that because he had to. Nicole still has a lot to work out because she's so angry at being left out, and she feels like she could have helped him in her role as a psychiatrist, pointed out Val Jean. And while Vernon and Anita believed they were doing the right thing at the time by covering it up, they are now feeling the repercussions of that. Now another guy is dead, and they're in debt to Joey Armstrong. So yeah, the tentacles to live on. Which familiar face from the world of daytime do you think might be joining BTG next? Are you looking forward to seeing what comes next in the storyline surrounding Martin's attack and cover-up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.